Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. We're continuing what's been a very busy November on the channel so far with another game of Momentum Football by Downey Games, and we do have a ticker test involved. You're probably wondering, Phoenix Knight, I thought you were using Ultra Quick Football as your ticker. Well, I did for 1972, but I'm evaluating a new ticker that I want to try out. See, there was a little bit of griping on, there was some feedback that I got from one of the fans of the 1972 season about the ticker I was using, where it kind of overwhelmed teams a little bit. So what I'm going to do is at the end of this video, we're going to do some ticker testing, where I'm going to use the original Ultra Quick Football game, which is my main ticker, but I'm also going to use Final Score Football by Downey Games as a potential ticker test. I want to see which one I like better. I like the idea of having a 4-quarter ticker game, but there's a potential problem where it could take too long. Anyway, that's for later in the video. For now, we're at Lambeau Field in Week 1 of the 2008 NFL season, as the Minnesota Vikings are playing the Green Bay Packers. I've got everything set up here, so let's jump right in, and we'll start with the coin toss. If you're new to the channel, I'll explain very briefly how I do the coin toss. Hold on just a second. Okay. So just to explain how I do the coin toss, I take 3 of the 4 dice that are involved in the game. I designate one as the home team. In this case, yellow will be the Packers. Then white will be the Vikings. And I designate 1 die as a decision die for the coin toss. So the winning team, based on the result of the coin toss, the winning team based on the result die will either defer the first half kickoff and receive the second half kickoff on odds, or receive the first half kickoff on evens. So we rolled a 6 there, which means the Vikings actually win the coin. So the Packers rolled a 1 on the coin toss. The Vikings rolled a 6. The Vikings win the coin toss, and because the red die, the decision die, is odd, the Vikings will defer the first half kickoff. All right, which means we are all set, and now the Packers have the opening drive of the first quarter. I'm not going to play this as a demo game because I'm still fairly fresh from my 1972 season replay that I did all of last month. So we're just going to try to fly through this game, mainly because I'm more interested in the ticker test than I am with the actual game. But let's play this game through anyway. And I should also mention, by the way, you're seeing a second dice tower. File that away for now, but we are going to come back to the second dice tower. If you want something more adorable to look at, you can look at my buddy Cthulhu over here, who's actually guarding that second dice tower. So now we'll come back to Lambeau Field, and the Packers will get their first drive. All right, we're ticking 4 time off the clock. Down to 13:20 to play in the first quarter. A 5 is coming off of Minnesota's defense. 31 says the Packers are going to have to punt that one away. Now, I was going to say, the Packers can have a punt blocked, but the Vikings can return a punt for a touchdown. The Vikings need an 11-12, but the 12 has to be accompanied by a 12 and under on blue and yellow. So we're not going to worry about rolling for the block. We're not going to worry about rolling for the attempt for the Packers. We're just going to assume Derek Frost is coming out to make the punt. We'll be rolling for the return for the Vikings. Ooh, the Vikings almost got a hold of one there, but no block, no return. And we are underway here at Lambeau Field. Minnesota getting their first drive of the first quarter. They'll be ticking 7 time off the clock. Down to 11 minutes to play. 6 coming off Green Bay's defense. 62. That is going to be a touchdown pass for the Vikings. Stadium groans. Ugh. And the Vikings now have a 6-0 lead pending the extra point. But we need to see who made the touchdown return, or made the touchdown pass reception first. 26 on receiving will be Bernard Berrien from 9 yards out. Right, yes. That'll be from 9 yards out. Brian Longwell is an automatic on the extra point. And the Vikings now have a 7-0 lead along with momentum. Stadium groans. Ugh. We'll take off time for the kickoff, and then the Packers will get their second drive of the first quarter. That will be another 6 time coming off the clock. Down to 8:40 to play. 6 coming off Minnesota's defense, and a 24 means the Packers are going to take a quarterback sack. Rodgers is going to get dropped in the backfield. This is purely a narrative detail for how much is lost. 8-yard loss. What is not a narrative detail, however, is potentially the Vikings getting a punt return for a touchdown. But let's see if that happens for the Vikings. It does not. But Minnesota still owns a 7-0 lead heading into with 8:40 to play in the first quarter. Vikings with their second drive. Gus Frerotte drops back. He takes the snap, and here's the drive. That'll be another, 10 time coming off the clock, a grinding drive. Not what the Packers faithful at Lambeau Field want to see today. 9 coming off Minnesota's offense, and a 64 is going to be another touchdown pass. Stadium groans again. Ugh. Vikings now with a 13-0 lead pending the extra point. But first we have to roll for the touchdown reception. 35 will be Chester Taylor making that catch from 4 yards out. Longwell adds the extra point. And the Vikings now hold a 14-0 lead, as Lambeau Field is very much stunned at the explosiveness of the Vikings coming out of the gate. Packers need to put something together here very quickly. Let's see what Rodgers can do as he takes the snap. He drops back, and here's the drive. Taking another 7 time off the clock. Down to 2:40 to play. 5 coming off of Minnesota's defense, but a 65. That'll be a touchdown pass all day long. And the Packers finally get some points on the board. 14-6, pending the extra point. But we have the touchdown reception to deal with first. 53 is going to be Brandon Jackson from 5 yards out. Mason Crosby is similarly automatic on the extra point. And it is now a 14-7 Minnesota lead. Stadium cheers. Yay! Ticking off time for the kickoff, and the Vikings will get their what's probably going to be their last drive of the first quarter. Wow, taking off 8 time off the clock. That's exactsies to end the quarter, actually. 5 is coming off of Green Bay's defense, but a 66 is going to be another touchdown pass, and all of a sudden, both defenses seem to have forgotten how to play. Hold on just a second while I adjust a couple things here. Okay. So we're all set there. Score is now 20-7 in favor of the Vikings, pending the extra point. The Vikings get more points at the end of the first quarter. 45 is Vicente Chianco. I probably just butchered that pronunciation. He'll take it in from 4 yards out. Longwell will add the extra point. And at the end of 1, Minnesota is out to a 21-7 lead. Green Bay needs to get a start in the second quarter. They need to get something going here. We'll take off time for the kickoff, and the Packers have the first drive of the second quarter, as they are trailing this one 21-7. Let's see what the Packers can do with this first drive of the second quarter. Taking another 7 time off the clock. 6 coming off Minnesota's defense with a 53. That'll be a field goal attempt. And here comes Crosby to try to cut into this Viking lead. He's an 11-55, but now we have to be aware that a 65-66 will get blocked. Which that's a 45. Kick is up, and it is good. 20, 22, and 17 is a 39-yard kick. And the Packers get 3 points into the lead, as it is now 21-10 in favor of the Vikings. Not momentum changing because it didn't let the Packers take the lead. We'll take off time for the kickoff, so we're down to 11:40 to play in the second quarter. And Minnesota has their first drive of the second quarter. Barat takes the snap, and here's the drive. Taking another 7 time off the clock. Down to 9:20 to play in the quarter. Just going to wave my hand here, make sure I've got signal. 6 is coming off Green Bay's defense, but a 61 is going to be a touchdown run. Stadium groans. Ugh. 16, that'll be taken in by Adrian Peterson from 2 yards out. And the Vikings now have... Actually, Longwell will add the extra point automatically. And the Vikings now take a 28-10 lead here at Lambeau Field. Green Bay gets their second drive of the second quarter. Packers need to get something going here. We'll take 10 time off the clock. Down to 5:40 to play in the second quarter. 10 coming off Green Bay's offense, and a 56. That's going to be a touchdown run, and the Packers needed that. Stadium cheers. Yay! 63 will be Deshaun Wynn taking that in from 3 yards out. Crosby will add the extra point. And it's now a score of 28-17 in favor of the Vikings. On what seems to be a day that the defenses have both forgotten how to play football. Let's see what the Vikings can do with their second drive of the second quarter. We'll take another 7 time off the clock. Down to 3 minutes to play. 6 coming off Green Bay's defense. 43 is going to be a key penalty, and as Minnesota's got momentum, they get the benefit of a defensive pass interference call. Stadium barfs. Bleh. Minnesota gets an offensive read on this next drive no matter what. So let's see what the Vikings are able to do with the new drive having a lease on life. That'll be 7 time coming off the clock, which is almost going to take us to halftime. 41 on their offense is going to be a key run. So the Vikings have a chance to keep this drive alive. Let's see what they can do with this one. That run will be going to a 13, will be going to Adrian Peterson, and a 24 on blue and white. He's going to take that all the way, and that'll be another Minnesota touchdown. Stadium barfs. Blah. Peterson will take that in from 1 yard out. And Longwell will add the extra point. And the Vikings now have a 35-17 lead as we're nearing the end of the first half. Green Bay with the second quarter with their last drive, and they're going to expend everything for a Hail Mary, which is a house rule that I use, and they're going to take a key. They're going to use a key reception for this one. Let's see what the Packers can do with a Hail Mary at the end of the half. That's a cocked die. An 11 will be going to Greg Jennings on the Hail Mary. And a 53. 53. The Packers would have to punt that one away, except there's the gun for the end of the half. And the Vikings lead this one 35-17 as we get ready for halftime. And I will take a small break. Don't forget, later tonight, I will be live with Jester on his channel, as we'll be playing Dominant Species from GMT Games. Very different game from this, obviously, but that will be later tonight. We're back here out of the locker rooms for the second half, and the Packers coaching staff has probably given the Packers team an earful coming out of that awful first half. Anyway, the Vikings, after deferring the coin toss, do get the ball to start the second quarter. So the Vikings have their first drive, and here's Farah taking the snap, and here's the drive. That'll be taking 7 time off the clock. Down to 12:20 to play. 6 coming off Green Bay's defense. 35 says the Vikings are going to have to punt. They'll bring Chris Kluwe out for the punt. Let's see if he gets it blocked, because he needs an 11, but a 36 and under. Oops, let's remember to change the quarter chart. He needs an 11 and a 36 and under. And then the Packers do have a chance to return a punt for a touchdown. Except a 65 will very much not get blocked. And then Will Blackman needs an 11 on this roll, and then a 65 and under on blue and yellow. None of which, well, the 12 would have qualified, but the 36 on red and white is too high. So as such, Green Bay will get their first drive of the third quarter. They need to get something going here, as they are down by 18 after Peterson put up another touchdown for the Vikings right at the end of the first half. Rodgers drops back. He will take the snap, and here's the drive. That'll be taking 8 time off the clock for the Packers. Down to 9:40 to play. 4 coming off Minnesota's defense. And a 56 is going to be a field goal attempt. And here comes Crosby again to try to cut into this lead a little bit further. Crosby is an 11-55 on the field goal and going to have one blocked on a 65-66. That is a 65, and the field goal attempt is going to be blocked. Stadium barfs. Blah. Let's see if the Vikings can return the fumble. It's treated as a fumble coming off of a field goal block. Vikings can return a blocked field goal for a touchdown on 11-16. That's a 31. No recovery there, but it will be Pat Williams getting a hand on it for the Vikings. Stadium barfs. Blech. And off the blocked field goal, the Vikings suddenly have all of the momentum as they get their second drive of the third quarter. Farrat drops back, he takes the snap, and here's the drive. We'll be ticking another 4 time off the clock. 4 coming off Green Bay's defense. 32 says the Vikings are going to have to punt. Kluwe can have a punt blocked on an 11 and a 36 and under. 25 won't be blocked. Blackman can return a punt for a touchdown with an 11, but a 65 and then a 65 and under on blue and yellow, which that's a 12. That was close. But the Vikings are able to cover that just barely. Green Bay now with their second drive of the third quarter, trying to get something going here against a suddenly stout Minnesota defense. Feeling momentum after the blocked field goal. That is going to be 6 time coming off the clock. With another 6:20 to play. 7 coming off the team with momentum. That's Minnesota, their defense. And a 15, and Rodgers is going to throw that to a white jersey. Fortunately for the Packers, no return for a touchdown. Doug Hunt first to join us here at Lambeau Field. This is a test I'm doing today using the 2008 season. So we're going to be doing a little bit of ticker testing, but I wanted to get a full game in to keep this fresh in my mind. Anyway, we're rolling for an interception from the Vikings. A 45 will be Matthew Williams making that pick, and I probably just butchered that pronunciation. What we're actually testing, Doug, at the end of this video is going to be a new ticker game from Downey Games. I'm looking at maybe using Final Score Football, but we'll see what I think about that. So the Vikings, now with their third drive of the third quarter, as the defense seems to be putting up a wall here. Let's see if the offense can give them a little bit of breathing room. Probably not, but we'll take 6 time off the clock. As we're down to 4:20 to play. 6 coming off Green Bay's defense. 42 is just barely going to be a punt. Let's see if the Packers can block this one. They cannot on a 63. Can they return it for a touchdown? They need an 11 on red and white and 65 and under on blue and yellow. That's a 62, so no return either. Packers need to get something going here. Lambeau Field faithful, not happy with what they see. Rodgers takes the snap. He drops back, and here's the drive. That'll be another 6 time coming off the clock. Down to 2:20 to play. 6 coming off Minnesota's defense. 31 says the Packers now are going to have to punt that one away. Frost for the first time coming out. Neither one can have a punt blocked. But the Vikings do have a chance to roll for a touchdown. 11 to 12, but the 12 has to be accompanied by a 12 and under on blue and yellow. Which that is very much not. And with 8 time left, we definitely need to be aware of the possibility of this drive taking us into the fourth quarter. The Vikings have the ball. Farrat takes the snap, he drops back, and here's the drive. Taking another 8 time off the clock, so yes, actually no, this will be exactsies. This won't take us into, it just barely won't take us into the fourth quarter. 7 coming off Minnesota's offense because they have momentum. And to 56, that's going to be a touchdown run, and the Vikings are going to get some breathing room. Stadium groans. Ugh. Score is now 41-17 Minnesota, pending the extra point. Did I check out Drive Time Football? It's a quick game, but it doesn't have many seasons. I actually don't think I've looked at that one yet. I don't remember where I heard it from, but I would swear I've heard that name, but I don't I don't remember where I've heard it from, but I'll see if I can track it down. Anyway, just going to wave my hand here, make sure I've got the signal, because I know that likes to cut out on me at inopportune times. Touchdown run is going to be made by Chester Taylor, and he'll take that in from 1 yard out. Longwell will add the extra point. And the score is now 42-17 in favor of the Vikings. And that drive will take us into the fourth quarter, and we will be in the fourth quarter coming out of the kickoff, as the Vikings lead this one by a score of 42-17. The Packers are running out of time, and Lambeau Field is not happy. That'll be 6 time coming off the clock. 5 coming off Minnesota's defense. 55, that'll be a field goal attempt. Dave Gardner has it on his channel. It's by John Trumbull. Wait a minute. Isn't John Trumbull the guy behind Jason Flash Football? Maybe that's where I've heard it from, because I'm subbed to Jason Flash Football on YouTube. Maybe that's where I recognize it from. But coming back to business here at Lambeau, we've got Mason Crosby coming out to try to cut into this lead. Suddenly it's a very daunting one. Crosby trying to get some points to help the Packers cut into it. That's a 45. Kick is up. It is good. 23-17 is a 40-yard kick. And the Packers now have a 42-20 lead. Or the Vikings now, I should say, have a 42-20 lead. Vikings now with their first drive of the fourth quarter. We'll tick off another 7 time. Down to 10 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. 3 coming off Green Bay's defense. 26 says the Vikings are going to have to punt. No, that's for sure. You can feel their icy breathing. Well, I'm only a couple hours away from Lambeau Field. It's actually not icy up there, and this is also week 1 anyway, so there wouldn't be any icy breathing yet in September. But before we get to that, Vikings are out to try to punt this one away. Kluwe gets it blocked on an 11 with a 36 on blue and yellow, which that is not, so no block. And looking at the return for the Packers, no return. Score remains 42-20 in favor of the Vikings. Packers need to get something going in a hurry in this one. Let's see what Rodgers can do with the snap. He drops it back, and here's the drive. That'll be 7 time coming off the clock. Down to 7:40 to play. 7 coming off Minnesota's offense, or Minnesota's defense, I should say. And a 61. That's going to be another field goal attempt. And the Vikings seem to have found a good time to at least put up a wall. That while the Packers are getting points, at least they're getting a lot fewer. Crosby coming out for another field goal attempt. That's a 12. That kick is up. It is very much good. 2, 5 is 7. 5 is 7, and 17 is a 24-yard kick. Score is now 42-23 in favor of the Vikings. Not Jason Flash Football. His site for John is Powder Blue Sports. All right, well, I'll take a look into Drive Time Football then and see what I think of it. Let's see. With 7:40 to play, you're down by This is a tough decision if you're the Packers. You're down by 3 scores. I think you got to kick this one deep. So the Packers are going to kick this one deep. I'll take off the time for the kickoff, and we'll see what happens, and we'll see what the Vikings can do with this one. Farrat takes the snap. He drops back. The Vikings are looking to chew up clock right now. And here's the drive. That'll take another 7 time off the clock. 5 coming off Green Bay's defense, but a 62 is going to be a touchdown pass. And the Packers' decision to kick it deep comes back to haunt them. Vikings now have a 48-23 lead, pending the extra point. 26 will be caught by Bernard Berrien again. From 4 yards out. Longwell will add the extra point. And the Vikings now out to a 49-23 lead. And I have a feeling we're now officially at the point where the Lambeau faithful are probably heading for the exits, trying to beat traffic. Let's see if they can get much of anything going on and at least not get completely humiliated at home. Taking another 5 time off the clock. That doesn't seem likely. 5 coming off of Minnesota's defense, and a 12 is going to be a fumble, and the Packers are going to put that one on the ground. Stadium starting to empty at this point. Let's see if the Vikings can return that for a touchdown. 11-16 on fumbles. They will do it. That's a 43, so no return, but that'll be Napoleon Harris who falls on that one for the Vikings. And the Vikings with what I expect to be their last drive of this game. We'll be ticking 8 time off the clock. Okay, 9 coming off Minnesota's offense. 53 is going to be a field goal attempt. Ryan Longwell will come in to try to get in on the field goal action. He's an 11-61 on the field goal kick. .16 kick is up. It is good. And so the kick is up. It is good. 6, 11, 17 is a 28-yard kick. And the score is now 52-23. And Lambeau Field is pretty much empty at this point, as the Packers are just going to kneel down as their fans want this one over with. And the Vikings come into Lambeau Field and basically bully the Packers around for a final score of 52-23. Stadium groans. Ugh. We are not quite done yet, though, because we've got some ticker testing coming up next. Actually, what did I want out here? There's something I wanted. Oh, wait. I remembered there was something I wanted. I wanted my bag of logos so I could get those picked up. Yeah, this was not a close one at all, Doug. Right here. So here's how this ticker testing is going to work. First, we're going to start off with using Ultra Quick Football as our ticker, since that's basically our known quantity in terms of a ticker, since I used that for the entirety of the 1972 season. Then we'll get my buddy Cthulhu out of the way, and we'll explain what we're going to do with the final score football testing. That'll make a little bit more sense. So let's bring this tower down just a little bit. I think we'll have to adjust it like so. Okay. So the way Ultra Quick Football works is we essentially start off with an adjusted score for both teams. That's a base score. Then we roll a D100 on this Ultra Quick Football chart based on the roll we get for each team. Then we add or subtract based on the result. The way I've always rolled this is I've got a set of red D100. I'll use that for the away team, and then green will be for the home team. Just so I don't roll them accidentally. We'll put the Viking Packer score in on the ticker as the Vikings bully the Packers 52-23. So Doug, I'll be curious. So anybody else in chat, I'll be curious for your feedback. And if you watch this after the fact, feel free to leave your opinions in the comments down below of which ticker you like better. So we'll start off with Ultra Quick Football, and we'll go first to the Redskins and the Giants. Redskins roll a 67. They're adding 6 points to their score. Giants roll a 40. There's no change to their score, so the Giants are still going to win that one by a score of 20-18. Seahawks and the Bills. Seahawks roll a 72. They're adding 6 points to their score. Bills roll a 61. They're adding 3 points to theirs. And that will be enough for the Bills to get the win by a score of 25-23. Texans and the Steelers. Texans roll a 42. No change to their base score. Steelers roll a 77. They're adding 7 points to theirs, and the Steelers will take that one by a final score of 30-13. Chiefs and the Patriots. Chiefs roll a 27. They're subtracting 2 points from their base score. Patriots roll a 55. They're adding 2 points to theirs, and the Patriots take that one by a final score of 30-13. Jets and the Dolphins. Jets roll a 44, no change to their base score. Dolphins roll an 87, they're adding 10 points to theirs, and the Dolphins win that one by a score of 30-21. Buccaneers and the Saints. Buccaneers roll a 94, they're adding 14 points to their base score. Saints roll a 14, they're subtracting 7 points from theirs, and the Buccaneers will take that game, first road team to win, by a score of 38-16. Rams and the Eagles. Rams roll a 73. They're adding 7 points to their base score. Eagles roll a 94. They're adding 14 points to theirs. And the Eagles will win that one by a final score of 44-18. Lions and the Falcons. Lions roll an 11. They're subtracting 7 points from their base score. Falcons roll a 76. They're adding 7 to theirs. And the Falcons will win that one by a final score of 39-8. Jaguars and the Titans. Jaguars roll a 54. They're adding 2 points to their base score. Titans roll a 23. They're subtracting 3 points from theirs, but the Titans will still get that one by a final score of 19-13. Bengals and the Ravens. Bengals roll an 81. They're adding 8 points to their base score. Ravens roll a 10. They're subtracting 8 points from theirs. That's a tie, so we have overtime. And similarly, the overtime chart works on... It's just a straight percentile roll for each team. No ratings involved on this one. Bengals roll a 15 for 0. Ravens roll an 85 for 6 points. So the Ravens will take that one by a final score of 21-15. Panthers and the Chargers. Panthers roll a 69. They're adding 6 points to their base score. Chargers roll a 60. They're adding 3 points to theirs. And the Panthers squeak out a nail-biter by a final score of 29-26. Cowboys and the Browns. Cowboys roll a 77. They're adding 7 points to their base score. Browns roll a 94. They're adding 14 to theirs. And the Browns take a nail-biter from Dallas by a final score of 30-28. Cardinals and the 49ers. Cardinals roll a 47. No change to their base score. 49ers roll a 31. They're subtracting 2 points from their base score. And the Cardinals take that one by a final score of 26-23. Bears and the Colts. Bears roll a 64. They're adding 3 points to their base score. Colts roll a 23. They're subtracting 3 points from theirs. And the Bears take that score by switching with the Cardinals. And the base scores 21-18. Last up, Broncos and the Raiders. Broncos roll a 21. They're subtracting 3 points from their base score. Raiders roll an 11. They're subtracting 7 points from theirs. And the Broncos take that one by a final score of 20-15. That's the Ultra Quick Football Ticker. I mostly like that game. I mostly like this one as a ticker test because it's so fast to go through a week. But sometimes you end up with a little bit of maybe unrealistic results. So that's what brings us to the other game that we're testing here. That's what brings us to Final Score Football, also by Downey Games. The way this works, and I won't be able to show it really. Actually, I can show the chart at least. I'll be keeping everything on my laptop. So the way it works is each team is going to be assigned a letter rating. I've done some conversion. I've done some math conversions off channel to set everything up for both teams. But each team is assigned a letter rating. You adjust it by home field advantage and the opposing defense to get to the final rating. So you'll roll D66 on the scoring chart. Take the number of points for that. You'll do that for all 4 quarters. You can see it goes from A to Z. But you'll go through that for all 4 quarters, and then that's your final score. And that is actually where the second dice tower that my buddy Cthulhu has been watching over for us comes into play. Oop. So thanks, Cthulhu. Now I can put you up here. So what I've done is I've got a set of D6s in sizes. So we're going to read all of these big then little, similar to how I do my tickers for Fast Score Baseball. So I'll have one set of dice in this tower, which this will be our away tower, and then the main tower that I'm using will be our home tower. So if you think this isn't going to work, Doug, is in terms of Fast Score, I want both accuracy and speed if possible, but if you have to choose one, choose speed over accuracy. So I want to see how this all works out. So now I'll tab into my ticker in Excel. I'll put in the Vikings final score, or the Viking Packer final score. So that'll be 52-23. I'll try to tab back in after I roll each game. So the way we're going to read the dice is the order of the colors that we're going to read. For both teams, we're going to read blue, then yellow, then red, then black. So blue for first quarter, yellow for second, red for third, black for fourth. So I'll be keeping the ticker for this one off. I'll be keeping the ticker on my laptop. So first up, we'll go to the Redskins and the Giants. I'll roll both dice, and then I'll roll both towers through, and then we'll read everything out. Okay? And then for the Giants. Alright, so the Redskins are assigned a D rating. So the way we're going to read the dice is The Redskins have a 14 on D. That's good for no points for the Redskins. Then for yellow, a 25 is also no points. Then on red, 52 is good for 3 points. And then on black, 53, that's good for another 3 points, and that's the entire game for the Redskins. They have a score of 6. As for the Giants, they have an O in this case. So Giants are reading off of column O. Reading for blue, O43, that's going to be 7 points. So the Giants have already won this game, but they don't know it yet. Then yellow, 32, is going to be good for another 6 points. Then red, 52, is going to be 10 points. And the black at 44 for O is going to be 7 points. And the Giants will win that one by a final score of 30-6 based on final score of football. Next up, Seahawks and the Bills. So it's essentially, so we're basically doing the same week. So that's the Seahawks roll. And here's the Bills. Seahawks are column H. So H for the Seahawks. Let me make sure signal is still coming through on... Okay, everything looks good there. Sorry for randomly waving my hand. I just want to make sure the camera is still coming through. So Seahawks on column H. 11, they're giving up 2 points. Actually, no. 54 first. So 54 on H is going to be 7 points to the Seahawks. Then an 11 on yellow is going to be 2 points as they pick up a rare safety. Then red 42 is going to be 6 points. And 36 is another 6 points. So the Seahawks end up with 21 points on the game. As for the Bills are F. So we need to go to F. 11 is going to be 2 points, so the Bills pick up a safety as well. Then 24. And 24 is going to be... Oh, that's a big quarter roll. So we're going to re-roll the yellow dice. Actually, let me pull everything else out so I don't lose any of my results. Because we need to roll the second quarter dice. That'll be yellow, and we're on this big quarter chart. So the modifier here, 15, is going to be a +3. So I believe we re-roll that. Actually, we go over 3 columns. Actually, we go forward 3 columns. So they're an F, 1, 2, 3. So we roll on column I. 54 is 7 points for the Bills. All right, third quarter was 16, so we're back to F. 16 is no points. And black and 45 on F. 45 is 6 points. So the Seahawks are going to win that one by a score of 21-15. Next up, Texans and the Steelers. Texans are done. And they're the Steelers. Okay, so now we need to read everything. Texans are an F. So first quarter is a 34, which is 3 points. Then a 45 is another 6 points. Then 16 is no points. And black is 22, which is no points again. Steelers are an H. 41 is 6 points. Then 26. 26 is 3 points. Then red is 55. This will probably end up being a blowout win. Or maybe not. That'll be 7 points for the Steelers. And black is 31. That's an H31. That'll be another 3 points. And the Steelers will take that one by a final score of 19-9. ID Jester now joins us for ticker testing. So what's going on here, Jester, is I'm actually doing a little bit of ticker testing using Final Score Football. So I went through the entire ticker for Ultra Quick Football already, and we had an entire game of Momentum Football before that. So I'm looking at potentially changing out the ticker since there was some feedback from the 1972 season about some problems with Ultra Quick Football as the ticker. So I'm experimenting with using Final Score Football from Downey Games as a new ticker. It seems like it's a little bit slower, but I think I don't know. I'll let you guys be the judge of it. You might remember what I did from Ultra Quick Football. Let me just wave my hand here, make sure I've still got signal. Okay. You guys might remember what I did from using Ultra Quick Football for the 1972 season. So this one's a quarter-by-quarter game for the ticker, but I'm seeing how it works with everything. So that's what I'm doing here. Anyway, the Steelers did pick that game up. And in terms of the rolls, I've got my 4 sets of dice. I'm reading blue for the first quarter, then yellow for the second, red for the third, black for the fourth. I'm rolling in this tower, this black tower for the away team, and then in my main tower for the home team. So going back into the ticker, next game up, we've got the Chiefs and the Patriots. Chiefs are done. And the Patriots are done. So now we read everything. Chiefs are a G. Actually, let me get a mark. I'm going to grab an arrow here so I can mark which column I need to be on. Because that was one problem I was having, or I've been having. So Chiefs are on column G. First quarter is a 13 on G, which is no points. By the way, I've also got the Final Score Football ticker on my laptop. Then 21 for the second quarter is no points. Then 46 is 6 points. And black on 61 is 7 points. And then for the Patriots on column K, first quarter is a 64. That's 14 points. Then 54 is another 7 points. Red 52 is another 7 points. And black is 63, which will be good for another 10 points. And the Patriots will take that one by a final score of 38-13. Jets and the Dolphins. Jets are on column L. 64 for the Jets is 14 points. Then a 23 is another 3 points. 62 is 10 points. And black is, 10 points. So the Jets had quite the showing. 37. Let's see if the Dolphins can do better than that. First quarter for the Dolphins. K44 is 7 points. Then 63 is 10 points. Red 61 is 10 points. This one's going to be a shootout from the looks of it. And black 63 is going to be 10 points, and I think this one's going into overtime. It is. So each team is going to get a roll on the overtime chart based on their original modifier. So Jets are an L on overtime. So each team gets a roll, but if neither team scores, the game is going to be a tie. Jets roll a 35. That'll be no score for the Jets. And then the Dolphins or a K with a 13. That'll also be no score, so that game will end in a tie. Did I pull my formulas over? Yes, I did pull my formulas over to account for that. Okay, good. Studying the rule book for tonight should be a good time. Cool. Looking forward to seeing how dominant species plays out later tonight. Coming back to business here once I get tabbed back into Excel. Next up, we've got the Buccaneers and the Saints. Buccaneers are rolled. And so are the Saints. Buccaneers are on column M. All right, 50. Actually, first quarter is blue, so 15. No points for the Buccaneers in the first quarter. Now 55 is 10 points. Then 26 is 3 points. And black is 65, 14 points. Buccaneers did quite well. Saints are in column O, though. Starting off with a 51 for the Saints. That'll be 10 points right off the bat for the Saints. Then 43, 7 points. Then 11 is 2 points for a safety. And black is 31, which is 6 points. And the Buccaneers take that one by a final score of 27-25. Rams and the Eagles. Rams are at the Eagles, by the way. Rams are rolled. And so are the Eagles. Rams are on column D. All right, 56 is 6 points for the Rams. Then 36 is 3 points. Then 16 is no points. And 62 is 7 points. 16 points to the Rams. Eagles are on column I. First quarter is a 45 on column I. That's a big quarter. So we need to roll the first quarter dice again. That's a 66, which, is a dud. That'll send the Eagles back over to column A. 21 is no points. That was a painful quarter for the Eagles. So that brings them back to column I. 32 is 3 points. Then 43 is 6 points. And 42 is another 6 points. And in something of an upset, the Rams take that one by a score of 16-15. Lions and the Falcons. Lions are rolled. So are the Falcons. Lions are on column F. 61, 7 camera decided it wanted to be a pain in the neck again. But, so we just wrapped it up where, I wish I could see the timestamp on these. No, the camera's been being difficult of late. That's why I've been starting to wave my hand in front on occasion. That happens sometimes when I tab out. But the Falcons did pick up that win by a final score of 19-16. I wonder if I shouldn't just figure on handwriting these out. Next up, usually I do, but I wanted to make sure I had usually I do handwrite these out, but I wanted to make sure I had the formulas to preserve in Excel. I wonder if I just put this on my iPad instead of my laptop. That way I can keep an eye on my laptop. Anyway, Jaguars and the Titans. Jaguars are done. And so are the Titans. Okay, Jaguars start off on column D. With a 12 will be no points for the first quarter for the Jaguars. Then 63 is going to be 7 points. Red 22 is no points. And black 52 is 3 points. For a grand total of 10 points for the Jaguars. Looking at the Titans, they have a 50. They are on column L. 56 is 10 points. Then 31 is 3. 43 is 7. And black is 14. And the Titans are going to get away with that one by a final score of 34-10. Let me just check in, make sure everything looks like it's still good. Time for a new camera. You can get one for like $30. Except I also need a camera that's able to record, that's able to use a memory card, because I need to be able to transfer footage for Mystical Munchies. But yes, I've been wondering when the camera was... I've been wondering if it was going to be time for a new camera at some point, because I've had this same camera for probably, I think, pretty much ever since I started with my YouTube channel over 3 years ago, and I can't believe it's been that long. Anywho, coming back to our ticker, we've got the Bengals and the Ravens up next. Bengals are rolled up. And wow, so are the Ravens. That was a rare result to have. Bengals are on column A. All right, 44 is no points. Then 35 is also no points. 11 is 2 points. And black 62 is a big quarter, which a 31 will give them 14 points. So the Bengals actually managed to put together a decent fourth quarter, but it probably won't be enough to get past the Ravens, who are on column L. 63 is already 10 points. Then 55 is another 10 points. Yeah, that was not enough to get them over the top. 13 is no points. And 33 is 6 points. And the Ravens take that one by a final score of 26-16. Just tabbing in, making sure everything's okay here. Okay, good. So now we'll go over to the Panthers and the Chargers. So as we're going through this ticker, test with Final Score Football, I'm curious on which one you guys think is going to work better for my ticker purposes. I like the accuracy of this one, but I can't ignore the speed of Ultra Quick Football, even if the scores are a little bit screwy. Panthers are on column M. Panthers start off with a 16 for 3 points. Then 11 for 2 points, for safety. 36 for 6 points, and a 62 for 10 points. Chargers are on column N. All right, 56 is going to get them off to a jump start with 10 points. Then a 12 for nothing, for no points. Then a 41 for 7 points. And black 54 for 10 points, and the Chargers will win that one by a score of 27-21. A nice close one. Now we've got the Cowboys and the Browns. Cowboys are done, and I see a lot of bad rolls for the Cowboys there. And so are the Browns. Cowboys are on column K. Cowboys start off with a 13 for no points. Then a 12 for another no points. Then a 13 for another no points. And black is 35 for 6 points. Actually, 35, yep, 6 points. The Browns are on column D. And looking at their rolls, this may be something of an upset. 41 on D is a big quarter, so we're rolling the first quarter already. I'll pull everything else out because I do need to re-roll the first quarter. A 25 is going to give them, 21 points. Jeez. And the Browns are going to take that one in a blowout. All right, second quarter sends them back to column D. 66 is another 7 points. Then 62 for another 7 points. And 53 for another 3 points. And the Browns will take that one 38-6. Wow. The Browns just lit into the Cowboys. Next up, we've got the Cardinals and the 49ers. Cardinals are done. And the Niners are done. Cardinals are on column O. Right there. All right, first quarter for the Cardinals is a 56. That's good for 14 points. Then a 54 for 10. Then a 14 for 3. And a 62 for 14. Cardinals putting on quite the show here. Niners are on column F. 43 for the Niners is 3 points. Nope, not 30, 3. Yellow 15 for 0. Red 43 is going to be 3 points. And 32 for 3 points. And the Cardinals are going to take that one in a blowout, 41-9. Check in on the camera, make sure everything's working okay here. Now let me finish this ticker up, and then we'll go, and I'll talk about those, and then we'll acknowledge those thoughts, Jester. Next up, Bears and the Colts. But I think I'm starting to lean in the same direction. I'm starting to lean in the same direction I think you're leaning in. Bears are on column J. 22 is going to be 3 points for the Bears. Then 32 is 3 points. 52 is 7. And 32 is another 3. As for the Colts, they're on column M. 33 is 6 points. Then 62 is 10. Red is 12, that's 0. And black, 53, is 7 points. That's a win for the Cardinals by a score of 23-16. Last up, we've got the Broncos at the Raiders. Broncos are done. And so are the Raiders. Let me tab back in here just a second. Okay. Yep, just making sure everything's good here. So the Broncos are on column O. Okay. 55 is going to be 10. 53 is going to be another 10. 36 is a big quarter. 54 is 4 columns over, so 1, 2, 3, 4. The Broncos are rolling the third quarter off column S. 35 is going to be another 7 points. And black is 22 back on column O. Right? Yes. 22 on column O is good for another 3 points. Then the Raiders are on column B. 66 is good for 7 points. Then 33 is 0. Then 34 is another 0. And black, 54, is 3 points. And the Broncos are going to take that one by a final score of 30-10. And that's it for this round of ticker testing. Let's see, just wave the hand over. Okay. So now let's talk about these comments. The more rolling I do, the slower it goes, but the better results I get. So I have to decide between speed and accuracy. Yeah, I probably can. Yeah, I know that. I kind of knew that was the decision I was going to have to make going in. That's why I tried to do this with... This is only an initial test anyway, Jester. You have to keep that in mind. That's why I had the 2 towers with the 2 different sets of dice. That way I could try to speed it up a little bit, but this was definitely a lot slower than Ultra Quick was. Would think that if I do this after a full game of Momentum Football, the last thing I'd want to do is take 40 minutes to roll the other games up. And that's going to be even worse if my other testing with my other play-by-play games goes well, which I'm planning to do some testing with that this month. I could do this with an Excel sheet and automate this whole process. Use the Excel sheet to quickly get results. Yeah, I probably could set all that up. I need a whole mess of VLOOKUPs to be able to do that. But I think at least for the next replay I do of this season of the Momentum Football, which is probably going to be 2008, mainly because that's the ticker I've got prepared already, I'm going to see what I can do in terms of setting up an Excel sheet to automate this whole thing. But I think in general terms, I'm kind of leaning toward the speed of Ultra Quick Football, because like you said, Jester, I definitely want something that's going to be quick if I need to, in order to generate the ticker results. So this definitely gave me a lot to kick around in terms of how I want to do these replays moving forward. But that will do it for this playthrough of Momentum Football. As mentioned, later tonight I'll be live with Jester as we play Dominant Species from GMT Games. Still a lot of other stuff coming up on my channel, as tomorrow morning we'll be finishing up my Tack Up Wargaming list for the year as we play America Bomber, Evil Queen of the Skies by Compass Games. Tomorrow afternoon sometime we'll probably do a retrospective on my Tack Up Wargaming list this year, but I think that'll be recorded content rather than streamed. Still, I might do a premiere with that. Wednesday will be into the boxing ring for the first of 2 weeks as we play Title Bout 2 by Straight Jab Media. And next week, Mystical Munchies will be out of the unofficial Disney Parks cookbook with the entree, baked lobster, macaroni, and cheese. And there'll be a game stream of something in the morning, but I haven't decided what yet. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, Take care, everyone.